Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? We back with the Big Gamer Small Talk podcast. There's a lot to talk about today, this week. So we're gonna talk about first, fellas. Call of Duty.
Hey, we can hop into Call of Duty in a minute. I just wanted to talk about this Silent Hills thing because before Call of Duty news broke today, Silent Hills was the thing that was talked about.
Mhm.
And Sony's pulling off the PT or the playable trailer teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're pulling that off PSN this week, and the creator of the game, Del Toro, said it's done. He's sad about it. They're not making it. So
Now, what did we ever find out that it was it an exclusive?
I don't think it was going to be exclusive, but like that teaser or whatever was exclusive. So that's I Konami just kisses Sony's ass. So
yeah.
that's all that had to do with. I'm sure the Xbox would have got a 720p, 15 frames per second masterpiece.
So hold on. They had announced the game, right?
Yeah,
Silent Hill. I remember when they announced it.
yeah,
You know what
Silent
I'm saying?
Hills. Yep.
And there was a lot of excitement about this game.
Yeah,
Because we got it in the list like all the time. It was in that dang on list.
dude, we had that
And-
list. People had it listed for this year and shit. I'm like, no. I
yeah.
was like, the trailer or teaser, whatever the hell that was. That's not even the game at all. That was like this first person thing. They hadn't even begun on the game yet. So we were years away from any kind of potential game.
What?
And
What? Hold. What's the purpose of showing a game that's not going to be out for God knows how long now? So they canceled it now, right?
yeah, it's canceled. It's done, and probably Konami's about done as well, to be honest with you. But yeah, they canceled it. Because Kojima's not there.
Oh,
Yeah,
It was
okay.
it was gonna be his
That's why.
deal. Like Kojima,
Okay.
Del Toro. It was kind of their deal, and now
I'm
that
about to
game.
make some ponies mad. So Sony is being Indian givers. That's what we saying right now, right? They're being
Well,
Indian
yeah.
givers.
Well, they had to. They basically had to. I'm not touching that one, but they had to. They had to hype something up because here it was. Microsoft had these exclusives and stuff coming out, and Sony was just like, kind of had nothing. So that's why I think we saw they started doing that console debut. They started doing that whole, that kind of fooling people. Oh, Street Fighter this, even though it's not coming out for like 2.5, 3 years later. You know what I mean? So they were kind of working these kind of situations where fooling the public. That's what they do best. You know what
But
I mean?
I'm gonna say this. That's to lose a game that a lot of people were excited about this game because I heard a bunch of people talking about it. That's a low blow. I understand circumstances and situations bring about this, but at the end of the day, that's crazy
You
to
know,
me. You know,
I knew this was going to happen. It's just I'm glad it's not happening though with Metal Gear. That's a much bigger, I guess, exclusive. But this, like, we're just now seeing the effects of it, of Kojima leaving Konami. And
hmm
they were just having financial problems not too long ago. Did they ever say why they're splitting up?
They haven't said anything, but and usually those Japanese companies don't really air their dirty laundry. So I'm not sure.
We should big gamer small talk. We should put our money together and send Kojima a fucking gift package for losing his job. But baseball cards, some apple pie, hamburgers, big ass American flag. Yo, I'm so happy when Konami got rid of him.
So-
That was one. I was happy about that.
so it was going to be a third party game, or was this an
You don't know.
exclusive?
It was
No,
it was
third
going to be
party?
a multiplayer. Yeah, it was third party.
multi-plat.
Oh, okay. Well, then I ain't gonna go too much in on that.
But you know
'cause
what?
if it
Yeah,
was
the
exclusive-
fanboys thought it was going to be exclusive, though. You know what I mean? I just
Yeah. Well, we all know the trend. Third party is their exclusives.
yeah.
Oh yeah, as of what 2 weeks ago?
So as of late, that's what's been the
Yo,
trend. They get overly hyped about these little third party deals. So
I know crap.
they got to get excited about something.
I know Crap's going to get into it in a minute, so I don't want to steal that thunder. But and Crap, you were part of it. Next Gen, you were on their show. I didn't see if you got on, but like everyone today was arguing the fact that just with Microsoft possibly not getting Call of Duty, which I still think they are, unless they prove me wrong. Even if they whatever, Like, you've got 4 exclusives coming out. We're getting all those games. This goes further to say what we were talking about last week on the show when we were saying, imagine if the roles were reversed. Could you imagine if we were sitting here being like, hey, look, we got Call of Duty rights for commercials, and we had no exclusives coming this fall? We'd be getting eaten alive right now. Eaten alive.
Yeah,
And now today,
there's a huge double standard.
it's awful,
You know,
man.
that's pretty bad. Like, I think, like, I didn't really care about like what they were going to show at the reveal. I think everybody was waiting.
You know
to
what,
see.
Crap? I can't even say it's a double standard no more. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just to me, it's just amazing to me what people sell their minds to believe nowadays, man. Because you know, if you sit here and believe something is great, it's great, regardless of how often you had bashed the other platform for all this little things. People sell their minds a lot of stuff, man, and that's just what I'm seeing now. It don't went beyond just double standard. It's just went plumb crazy now, man. Because you can't pinpoint what nobody have a standard of what should be moving forward for any platform. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if it wasn't good for one, it shouldn't be good for the other. You know what I'm saying? We should be holding people accountable and moving this thing forward. But what it is just passing off people's seconds. You know what I'm saying? And getting these little deals that everybody in the beginning of last year was sitting here saying it's a bad thing to pay for exclusive content for third-party games because it really don't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So you know, if that's what the route Sony is going as a Sony fan, I would be appalled, man. I would not be bragging about this trash because it's just, you know, it's just third-party content. You might get something first, but at the end of the day, that game is on another platform, and that's just wasted money to me. You know what I'm saying?
There's this huge, like, bigger picture here, right? Like, and for those that don't know, right, the Call of Duty trailer dropped last year, and you know, it said, oh, well, this was captured on an Xbox One, or so people, I think, were looking for that or looking for the Xbox, better on Xbox logo, get the content first at the end of the trailer, and there was none of that. So it leads me to believe, I'm 99% sure that Sony has, or there's no marketing deal. Either Sony has a marketing deal or none, and here's what leads me to believe that. Originally, 5 minutes before the reveal trailer, you went to CallOfDuty.com, and you could only pre-order the PS4 version that said exclusive content only on PS4, right? And then they changed it afterwards to where you could get it on Xbox One or PS4. That was my first bit of clue right there, right? Then Major Nelson, who always tweets about Call of Duty every year and is usually involved in some way, hasn't talked about Call of Duty at all. Not a single word. So that leads me to believe, again, you know, probably not going to be any way tied into Xbox. The next thing would be the fact that Treyarch posted a picture of their studios, and every single workstation was a PS4 with PlayStation headset earphones. So that leads me to believe that they are, and they've already announced Treyarch has 1080p 60 frames per second on PS4, undetermined on Xbox One. So I would take that as almost undeniable fact that, you know, they are doing something with Sony. And I don't think Sony wants people to know till E3, because what better way to, you know, kind of do something than have them take the PlayStation stage, which they haven't usually done, and do, you know, the big Call of Duty thing, you know?
But you know what? That's kind of a bold move. You know what I'm saying? I have to give them that. Here's the reason why I say it's bold. If it comes out and they sit here and switch, Call of Duty is under pressure for mad Xbox fans that's been the platform for forever long. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's going to be any backlash or what from them switching over from that. You know what I'm saying? So it could be a backlash from that. So that's a bold move to do right now in the middle of that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know, it's a move that has to be made because they're a business at the end of the day. And if Microsoft took their money away from that, they got to do what they got to do to survive. But, you know, it's crazy.
I just thought, I didn't even think about it. I want to see these two things. I mean, I'm not a big Call of Duty. I said before, the last Call of Duty I paid what was World at War 2 or whatever, World at War, the first one, or right at the motto of at the Call of Duty
Yeah,
4.
so it's been since 2008.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's the last one that I bought. So it really, to me, is not a big deal. You know, my only thing I was hope is only on next generation consoles. But I can like maybe as an Xbox fan, maybe Microsoft took those marketing dollars back because they want Halo to be the pride and
Right.
glory
That
of.
could be it too.
You know what I
That's
mean?
a good point. That's a good point, Z.
They want Halo to be the shooter. You know what I mean? They want Halo 5 to be back the shooter. But if I was a Sony fan, I would be kind of pissed off. The reason why, because you
Mhm.
don't, that money, whatever that's $60 million or whatever. I know it wasn't cheap,
No.
because Microsoft paid with $50 million for that Bowser gave Tony DLC from Rockstar. To have that that was $50 million.
Mm.
So whatever, how many $1 million they could have took that and put it into some exclusive IP. Like I don't see, even with Microsoft, I don't see the purpose of paying for time, DLC, something that's
Yeah.
eventually going to come to another platform.
I
But
can
you
tell.
know what
I
the
can.
thing is? A lot of people don't buy that trash no way. You know what I'm saying? I know I don't.
Yeah.
I don't mind DLC.
I could tell you why Sony's trying to do that, because they want to capture that last that little bit that they haven't captured yet. They want to get those last 360 stragglers that haven't decided
That's
yet.
that's that's not gonna
They
happen.
they
Everybody
want
know
to.
Nah.
first person shooters always play better
I
on
understand that, but
Xbox.
check this out. Let's just pretend here for a minute, even though I don't think so, that this is only a current gen game. Those people that only play Call of Duty and Madden and 2K, and they like getting the maps early, and say Sony has that, they have no
Mhm.
loyalty, or else they would have already upgraded to the Xbox One. What they're going to do is go with the flow
Mhm.
and go with the PlayStation 4. Why
I
wouldn't
don't
you?
know. I don't know about that. You talking about DLC. You know what I'm saying? That
I've
should
been,
be in the game. That's what I'm
I
saying. It
know.
should be in the game anyway. We are paying extra for DLC that should be in the game from Go. But whatever. I just think they need to be very careful how they marketing this game, because you do not want to tick off um, Xbox, loyalty that's been on
Yeah,
this platform
Show, you
forever.
bring up a
So
good
it
point.
depends on
That's
it
a good
depends
point.
on how they market this. They gotta be very careful that they do not damage their brand, because I mean, Call of Duty already been going through a drought lately. You know what I'm saying? Where people are kind of fed up with the routine. I
Oh,
know me
I'm
personally.
not getting the new one,
I'm
but
kind of, I'm kind of, I want person shooters now. I'm kind of like first person. I'm kind of like bombed out a little bit, so I don't mind it. At the end of the day, but I looked at this whole thing when I first heard it. I just looked at it as what Microsoft was trying to do. Was trying to, they're excited about their first party games, and they
Right.
wanted to have that time and
Yeah.
that space to show off what they've been really working on. So I'm very excited for Microsoft E3, because we're gonna see first party titles. And this is what we've been asking for. This is what we've been wanting. Last year we all fussed about Call of Duty being on stage, and it's getting kind of cheesy. So now they heard that, and then when they make a move on it, it's getting deemed as something bad or something negative, and everybody is missing the point. These guys are coming with a full loaded gun of first party content. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited about that. I can care less about Call of Duty. I know I'm getting Call of Duty
If the
at
show,
the end of the day.
if the
You know what I'm saying?
This is what it is. If the shoe was on the other foot, we'd all be complaining that we had no exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
I get it.
not worried about it.
I get it,
So-
but my question to Xbox One fans and owners would be: are you content being this generation's PS3? If you were somebody that poked fun at the PS3 owners because they were
Why I
getting
gotta go
shit-
that? Why I gotta go that far though?
But I'm just saying, because they were getting the shittier versions of games, and they had the exclusives when the Xbox 360 had really bad drought with only putting out a few games a year. And so I think those kind of roles have reversed.
But
And
see,
not
we,
to be
we,
kind of,
we have not even seen everything play out yet. Like,
I
we still
understand
got
that, but
Division. What was that? Rainbow Six. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of other little exclusives that they got that they locked up as far as third party.
well,
That's on their team. So it's like,
Well,
I
this
don't
is
see
this is what
that.
I
I
would
don't see
say.
that bad yet. You know what I'm
This
saying?
is
I
this is
just don't
what
see it that
this
way.
is what I'd say. Like we don't know for sure what's going on 100%.
Right.
I will say that I've heard really bad things about the division,
Hmm.
multiple bad things, and I'll leave it at that. Like really bad. As far as Rainbow Six, I've never been a Rainbow Six guy, but Call of Duty is the biggest game every year. You know what I mean? Having something associated with the Xbox brand, although I can see why, like in the back of my mind, something says Microsoft pull. Why waste your money because these marketing deals aren't really helping you anyway. There's
Right.
no, they're marketing Madden and that's selling better on PlayStation. Marketing Call of Duty, that still sells well on 360. I mean, it was number one on 360, so that's still not helping the Xbox One really. You know what I mean? So I can understand, and I wish Warrior was here because me and him were having some really good talks about this stuff. I'm of the belief that Microsoft is actually in trying to save money, working on their portfolio, their first-party portfolio, and maybe gearing up for next gen already because they know this one's a lost cause. I don't really see them. I don't want to say they're throwing in the towel, but I just don't see them going out. If you look at it, they're spending less money to advertise than they ever have before. They've been real quiet lately. They could blow everybody away at E3. I think they're going to do what Sony did with the PS3, market these exclusives and things like that. I think that's going to be actually cheaper than the Xbox or the Call of Duty deal and some of these other deals that they had before. And then I think what's going to happen is in a couple years, when they drop it down to $199 or $250, a lot of people that were holdouts will go, meh, I'll get one for the exclusives, just like they did with the PS3. Remember when they had a big surge in sales like 3 years in? I can actually see that.
Dire yet, bro. Like we talking
Well, I'm not
Yeah.
saying that's
Yeah.
not dire. I just think that
a little dramatic right now, but it ain't that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't.
Bro,
I don't
yeah.
think-
I just, like I said, I think it's too early.
Yeah.
We only second year in.
You
You
know
know what I'm
what?
saying? And I think a lot of people are sitting here, just because of what we in. We in this console war. We don't really look at the whole picture. We only look at tit for tat little things at the end of the day. But you got to look at the large picture. I don't know what the large picture is until they reveal the large picture. You know what I'm saying? So if they being quiet and they not showing anything and they're not talking, until they do, we won't understand where they're going until they start talking. This is why I've been sitting here saying, me and Next Gen, for the past few podcasts, that they need to start advertising. They need to start talking. They need to start getting us excited. And y'all sat here like, no, blah, blah, blah. This is why I was saying that. It's because it's been quiet. So how you feeling is warranted. That's how I've been feeling for the past beginning of the year. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, we got to see exactly where they've been going. And until they talk, we don't know.
But see,
And I can't wait to see where they're going, man. They got me excited for E3, man. I believe
I'm in a different spot.
first-party games, I'm excited for it.
See, I'm in a different spot than you right now because here's the problem with that. Why would you go and spend all that money to keep us hyped when they don't have, I don't want to hear, I already know what's coming out in October, November, December. I know what's coming. So they're not going to go spend unnecessary money right now on a commercial to hype you up for October. It don't do nothing. It doesn't do anything. So what they're doing is you're going to see a Microsoft extravaganza come from E3 to the end of the year. And this is not anything new. Last year this time, nobody was getting blown away with commercials. Nothing was happening. All this conversation is, literally, is something coming from the Sony camp and the Sony fanboys that planted something, and it's a little seed, and it keeps growing. And it didn't even grow. I'm not even getting shit from the Sony people. This is Xbox people freaking out over nothing. This is not the end. This is not the end of this generation. This is not the end of. They're not going to come out with a new system in a week. Like what I'm saying to you is they're fine. They're fine. They're 60% above where they were last gen, and last gen kicked ass. So what I'm saying is that they're going to be just fine. We're under new leadership. We have a guy right now that only gives a shit about one thing: games. The dude is coming out with millions of people watching him on television and everything else with Limbo on his chest. You know what I mean? This dude only cares about games. So you're getting, from now to the end of, until he's fired, if he's fired ever, you're going to get a lot of games, exclusive, first party. He believes in investing in his own product, not putting money into someone else's product. And when it comes to Call of Duty, we saw the trailer today. What was different today than last year? They took the
It said
exoskeleton
captured on
out.
Xbox. It said it's captured off Xbox One, and Larry
Right, who
Herb and
cares?
those guys were at the review.
Nope.
Look, I'm not saying I'm not
Nobody
all for.
cares.
I'm not
Nobody
for.
cares.
I'm not saying hey, Call of Duty. Nope, that's the end of Xbox. What I'm saying is the writing's on the wall. If anybody thought the Xbox One was going to catch the PS4, that thing's a fucking freight train. Let's just be honest here.
And I am a firm believer in this. You know, that Microsoft, I don't know what they were about, maybe 15 million or something along those lines, at 16 million.
15, 16's got to be by now.
But whatever the case may be, like I said before, there are a lot of 360 owners that have yet to make that move.
That's a fact.
And they're waiting for Halo 5. They're
And Gears.
For the Gears, yeah.
Now, when Halo 5 comes out and Gears 4 come out, and we're still in the situation, I'll say, hey.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I would concede and say this generation is over.
Yeah, I'd wave the flag after that Z too.
And once this whole 1080p thing goes away.
Yes.
Then like I said, then I would concede to say this generation is over. You know, like I said the other day, Microsoft was to have one thing that Sony doesn't have, and that's money.
They're not spending it.
Well, here's the thing: Microsoft can afford to drop their console down to $250 if they choose to. Sony can't.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. They already are saying to investors, we expect better profit margins with our console business next quarter. So I don't, and they've already lost money based on lowering the price. I mean, they're already losing money on it. I don't know if they can afford to, listen, I'm with you guys. I think that it's the best console, but I don't think that they just can, lower it to whatever they want. I actually think there's probably some pressure. More pressure a little bit now than there ever has been before on that division to actually have that kind of make some money for them. And even though, they are part of Microsoft or whatever, I still think that I bet Phil Spencer probably gets it pressure all the time. I think that the Mojang purchase, believe it or not, probably was Phil Spencer's idea to help keep the Xbox division afloat because that goes into that, see? So Minecraft makes money.
People act like the Xbox division is some barren wasteland, like it's not making any money or something. What do you want from me?
Hey, Xbox Live is up 30%, so we can look at the positive. Actually, console sales were down all three year over year, Xbox, PlayStation, and Wii U. So, and same thing with game sales. So everything was down, but more than most was Xbox was down because the price dropped. Because last year during the same time, it was still $4.99, and even though they were selling less, they were making more money. Do you remember how in November when they launched, they sold less but made more money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was $100 more than their rival.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not like like I said, like the Xbox division is bleeding money and it's not selling the console. Now the motherfucker was selling like the Wii U, then there's a problem. You know what I mean? Like I said, and like I said, I will say this again. Look how successful last generation was. It's been the most successful ever, and it's already 60%. 60%. Outpacing last generation.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great point. It is outpacing that, but the perception is that it's doing really horrible. You know what I mean? And some of that.
The internet. That's 22 million. And I'm not,
allegedly.
Like I said again, Sony's been known again. If you didn't know, for fucking with number, they got sued and caught behind shit. Like I said, and I've said before, I don't know what Microsoft shipped and that 22 doesn't include the PlayStation 3s also, their home console department. They probably added the Vita numbers in there. That's what Sony does. I'm being honest though. They got with the PSP, they got in trouble with that shit for fucking with those numbers. Added with the PS2 numbers and and trying to trick their investors. But like I said, and again, when Microsoft, all of them do their home consoles. They add the 360 with the Xbox One. We all know the majority of them, what it was, 1.6 or whatever, the majority of those were Xbox Ones. But again, I say the last generation needs to die. I think the problem is like, who's really, look, what's the purpose of, what's the purpose of buying this next generation console when 90% of the library is on the 360 and the PS3? You know
Right.
what I mean? So, people are still, like, I'm being honest, most people say buy look, hey, it looks a little colorful. They don't know until they have that motherfucker in their house. Like, we can say all day, like, it looks much better on the Xbox when the PS4, but they judging by videos they see on the internet. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's not the same thing. It's not, you know what I mean? And like I said, of course, the 360 has more features than the PS3, so a lot of 360 owners are happy with what they have. They get the same games. All right, yours may be, have a little bit more color, but hey, I'm fine with this. Don't get it. They have Xbox Live. You understand what I'm saying? They have
Yeah.
cross game chat and all that shit already, so they're okay there. You know what I'm saying? But once, like I said, if this Call of Duty does not come to last generation, there will be an influx of whatever console they choose to go to of new owners. You know what I mean? Trying to get their fix on their Call of Duty.
It does look like it's going to come to last gen though, because when Treyarch was asked about it, they looked over to Activision head in the room, and Activision was like, "We'll have, we'll talk about that later."
I don't
You know
know.
what I mean?
They gave the PC requirements, and this is where it gives me a little hope. They gave their PC requirement, and they said DirectX 11 equivalent card. You know what I mean? If I'm not mistaken. So if that is the case, then there's no way in hell that it can come to the PS3 and 360 because their cards are equivalent to DirectX 9.
Here's my thing though. Back to the Call of Duty thing. Everybody know it plays better on the Xbox One. You have your tournaments on that. You have everything on that. It's been built up that way for a while now. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see, all that ceasing. You know what I'm saying? All out the blue, and then they just switch gears and go to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Where
I agree with you.
this been the whole thing for a while now. So it's a rumor that I think a lot of people are just jumping the gun on a lot. Somebody turned down the video that if they're watching it. So I just think a lot of people are just jumping the gun on this like way too early. Let's see what it all entails of. If it's going to be revealed at E3.
What are you talking about? The Call of Duty thing?
Yeah.
Oh, if it does, but that doesn't bother me. I mean, it's been.
Hey, I was just checking. I was just double checking next gen. DirectX 11 was for Advanced Warfare as well on PC.
Oh, it was?
Yep.
Well, then shit. Like
almost damn near same fucking specs for everything. 6 gigs, DX11. Yeah.
But here's the thing, going with Showstopper made a good point. I'm going to ride those coattails for a second. He said
he lagged out.
Call of Duty did have they're taking a risk right now if they don't go with Xbox as their main, if they ended up switching gears.
What if Microsoft didn't pick up the money or didn't match Sony? Still a business.
Well, I mean, think about it. See, when we looked at the sales figures from last January and February, we saw that Call of Duty sold best on Xbox One and Xbox 360. PS4 came in third.
Let me ask you a question. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate. If I'm Activision, and even if it gets sold that on Microsoft consoles, you think those Call of Duty heads are gonna stop playing Call of Duty because the DLC comes first too?
No, absolutely not. You're right. But I mean, but here's the thing. I think they're hurting themselves because Sony fans are not primarily first-person shooter Call of Duty people. The Xbox people are. And so they're going to get a rude awakening if they did go with Sony because they're going to see their sales drop off with that marketing deal. Same thing that kind of happened with Destiny, where at the end of the day, all those commercials, I mean, really, it hurts Sony the most. Sony's the one putting 50, 60, $70 million up and not getting the reward and having Xbox still beat them in sales. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, realistically, I do think that the Xbox One will still have better sales than the PlayStation 4 in Call of Duty, even if Sony does get the marketing deal.
Hey, look, Microsoft can save some money by not marketing it. It's still going to sell the same amount. Like I said,
right.
These marketing deals haven't been really helping the Xbox One anyway. People have pretty much made up their choice. The hardcore gamers, people buying consoles is slowing down right now. The hardcore people, pretty much have it. You know what I mean? You're going to continue to see it slow down, and then you'll see it start to pick up as we get closer to new games and things like that. But save that money, invest it in your first-party portfolio, get yourself some nice exclusive content. Hopefully, that's enough to get people to hop on board or whatever with what they're trying to do. Because obviously, this might be their way of thinking. If I'm Phil Spencer, and somebody's echoing bad, I don't know who that
Yeah,
is.
that's next Jim is Mike, and he probably listened to it live.
Wait, let me put my mic. I'm not watching it live. Echoing. Let me put my mic on. It's
Somebody
right.
watching it live.
Yeah, I got mine muted, like the live stream.
Yeah, my live's muted.
Yeah, because we hear us talking.
Okay, yeah.
I don't see how because I'm not even on the internet. But
Well, okay, so
wait. Am I echo?
Yeah.
Yes.
you're not echoing. Only when we
No,
talk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell. I turn it down and maybe not.
Okay, so basically, I think that maybe what that's funny. What Phil Spencer might be thinking
There you
is,
go.
yeah, that's better. What Phil Spencer's thinking is, the perception is we're fucked with third parties. People think all third party games are going to play better on the PS4. Time to double down on those first party games. Let's see what we can get going there. That's a smart move. Build up your first party. Give us some new IPs out there because if you remember, Halo launched to Xbox. You had Gears within the first year of the 360. So far, that what I would consider to be that must-have game on Xbox One. There's been a lot of good games, Sunset Overdrive, Titanfall, but I think that nothing like the Gears or Halo that we saw the previous two generations.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this because you had mentioned that Larry Herb and all them haven't tweeted out about the Call of Duty thing. Have Sony tweeted out anything about the Call of Duty thing?
Yeah, they tweeted 1080p, 60 frames per second, only
No.
on.
That's not what I'm sitting here saying. Did they tweet anything like Call of Duty?
No.
First on PlayStation.
No.
And that's what I said on Twitter today. They're the first.
I would think that.
You know how like Larry Herb and them would have did it. They would have been like Call of Duty. First on Xbox.
Where would that announcement
blah, blah,
make
blah.
the most impact though? Where would that be the dagger in the Xbox heart?
It will be E3. Well, it wouldn't be a dagger because it's still coming.
No. You know what? Yeah, here's the thing, though. It's not a dagger, but it's a perceived dagger to ponies, right? And why they think that is because they think it's a nail in the coffin for the Xbox. Oh, they think just what I said. Microsoft must have gave up. Well, I don't think necessarily, like I said, they're not giving up, but they're just doubling down on first-party games because the perception is third parties aren't as good. So you got to give people a reason to buy your damn console. So what do? You give them exclusives that they can't get on the PS4, and then that's what gets people talking. Because we all know Sony fanboys, they actually do want the games. You know what I mean? That's why they start the petitions and port bag and all this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, what you do is you invest in your exclusives and take it from there. For the most part, we'll all still play the multi-platform games as well. That's a bonus, but why advertise it if it's going to sell just as good either way?
Right. Well, like I said, I had said in my video, Call of Duty is at a point to where it really don't need a platform, and nobody really.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. Hey, I'm not buying it. I think it looks like Advanced Warfare 2 to me.
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, they don't make so much money that they really don't need a platform.
Yeah, it doesn't. The game is so old at this point. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. At this point, it really don't need a platform at all.
I hope. Here's my thing. I think maybe they have gotten kind of.
They could take the stage themselves and talk about it.
They really could. I mean, they might pull E3, have their own E3 press conference, but I think, like I said, I've kind of been at my I've been done with Call. They need to change the engine. I've been saying that shit for eons, but if it's only on next generation, I will buy it just for the co-op campaign. It's always to me. Their trailers always like over the top. Like Transformer movies or Fast and the Furious. They always bring you in with the trailer. They show you the campaign, not like it's the multiplayer. But I probably won't even touch the multiplayer. Just the fact that it's a co-op. You can run through the game together. Live stream or something. But that's only if it's on next generation console. If it's a cross-gen game, that means it's still using the same engine, and I'm not buying it.
Yeah. Okay. Hey,
Oh,
shout out to the
it doesn't.
150 people watching, man. That's big. It's 52
Yeah,
now. Dang.
152. Yeah, only on Big Gamer Small Talk. Hey, and I gotta say this. I watched a little bit of Podcast Unlocked, which is technically the most watched Xbox podcast, and that is a big steamy pile of shit.
Yo,
I can see why people flock to our channels and watch our podcast because when that's all you
That was a
got,
podcast unlocked. What the hell was that?
I don't even watch that
that's the
trash.
IGN podcast with like Ryan McCafferty. Hey,
Yeah,
Moose,
I
who's the other guy? They had some other guy. Maybe he's Asian or something. I don't know, but he actually seems like he is an Xbox fan.
yeah, that's Sean Finnegan.
Yeah, that guy. He actually seems like he's a
He's
damn
actually the
Xbox
only
fan.
person that gives a shit about Xbox and
They
actually
don't let him talk.
Let him talk, exactly.
Yeah, they don't let him talk, and it was funny because Ryan McCafferty was all like poo-pooing the whole Rise of Tomb Raider deal. He's like, so, damn, I'm choking on my own rage over Xbox over here. God.
Great.
Yeah, but
We just
anyway,
witnessed that crap. We all witnessed that just right now.
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway,
That clap right there, that slow clap, this crap racist ass almost dying. We'll give you another one.
no, but it was funny because Ryan McCafferty is like, well, Microsoft is teasing a new IP, so we can assume that it's not another stupid like Rise of the Tomb Raider type deal. You know what I mean? Like he's still like shitting all over that. You know what I mean? Like it's the most terrible thing ever. You know, even though he never said anything about Street Fighter or anything else. You know what I mean? So I just think that that's kind of messed up. But yeah, you know, I'm not like pissed off about the Call of Duty thing. I think that there's a little bit of perception that goes along with that. I'd be interested to see that, you know, Microsoft hangs on to like the MLG stuff, you know, with Call of Duty and like being the official, you know, console for that and all that kind of stuff, you know, because I think that's really important. And they just did like the Call of Duty championships and people like the MLG stuff, you know, that's synonymous with Call of Duty, you know, and I would hope that that at least stays. I like watching that from time to time, so. You know, I hope that.
And again, I can give. Listen, like I said, to me, and I'm trying to be as biased as possible. I really don't give a fuck about Call of Duty. I'm sorry.
Hater.
If I was a PlayStation game, I was a PlayStation only owner, and whatever. Like I said, I know it wasn't cheap to say they did outbid Microsoft or whatever the case, or maybe Microsoft didn't bid at all. Whatever the case may be. And Sony paid for that, and that money, and they could have got their Uncharted this year. That's 60 or $70 million. They could have paid those, hired more staff or whatever the case would be. Like, I'm coming to spend those little niche Japanese. And listen, I'm not knocking those who like those tier white dragon, RPG or Dragon Dogmas, their 13th power, whatever the fuck the case may be. That's not. I like triple A. I don't like these inside men with the camera drop down those dungeons. That's not my thing. You understand what I'm saying? But I would be like I said. I would be more pissed at that. If you look at their holiday lineup that we know about for sure, I'm just saying they may have a surprise. But see, like Little Big Planet came out of nowhere, But they have Until Dawn or Until Dawn. Persona 5 if you're into those type of games.
Persona nice.
That's like a high school drama or whatever the fuck it is.
Yes.
Susie not talking to Billy when it was a high school. Persona 5 is nothing but a high school drama. That's not my thing, but you got that. Persona 5 Until Dawn. You got the Gears of War. I'm talking about Gears of War remastered. I'm talking God of War remastered. Even though those may not come out before during the holiday seasons. PlayStation fans still can buy it during the holiday season, whatever, the exclusives. They don't have much. I'm just being, and we can't forget about that Tropico 5.
That's already on. That's on 360 as well, too. Though I mean.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, and you just looking at what we know for sure that's coming from Microsoft. Fable Legends, which I'm just looking. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say I have a hate love. I like being a hero. If you're the bad guy, the game is I don't like it. That drop down camera, it's like an RTS. If you're the bad guy,
yeah,
you gotta put your enemies all over the screen. But
I want to play the story. I hate the fact that they're gonna basically kind of they just been doing like the multiplayer stuff. It's like there's it's this
I
whole
love the combat though. I love it.
Yeah, the combat is good.
I don't want to say I'm a hypocrite here because it's like RP, but it's a very beautiful game. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it is.
Once you playing it and you're a hero, like some of those I forgot the class that has the sword, and you can wield the weapon. Like some of those moves that you pull off, it's beautiful. But we got Fable Legends, we got Killer Instinct Season 3, we got Forza 6, we got Halo 5, we got Tomb Raider, we got New Year's Anniversary.
Yep.
We got heavily rumored now, Battletoads, Banjo. That's 8 games right there alone. And it's not even what else we made. We still don't know about Scalebound. You understand what I'm saying? We don't know if that's next year or this year. Microsoft is going to be okay, as far as exclusive.
But another thing I didn't think about too, how Microsoft marketed games, they might not have it in their budget to do Call of Duty this year, especially with their own stuff and how they're going to advertise their own games.
Yeah.
So that money comes into play when it comes to every company has a budget. You know what I'm saying? I know we look at Microsoft as endless money. They got more money than anybody. You know what I'm saying? They Scrooge McDuck out here. I mean,
that Hunt the Truth commercial that we saw. The more money went into that than anything we've seen from Sony in 2 or 3 years.
But what I'm sitting there saying, like, even though how they promote their games, it's always a fest, party, a big time, hype around it where it gets everybody excited. So I'm thinking that could be the reason why they pulled out of that deal, because they might not afford to promote their game like that this year.
Not even that. You know what? We're getting the fucking Gears and the Halo this fucking year.
And that's true. That's true. Shutdown. That's the shutdown right there. You know what I'm saying? Shutdown. But at the end of the day, I just look at it. Look
about the football. I forgot about the football. The Joe Montana. You know what I mean? Like,
but at the end of the day, it's not death to the Xbox because Call of Duty is going to another platform. I just think it's opening the doors for new things, man. And I think everybody just needs to accept change and move on. You know what I'm saying? Things has changed.
Similar to the Xbox,
things has changed. Yeah.
You need to keep your money in your pocket for the DLC a little longer. That's all.
That's it. And then nobody care about that stuff no way.
On Halo 5, spend that money on Gears. Like maybe they say, hey, we don't need to advertise another shooter as much. We got Gears and Halo this year.
This year, that's what I'm saying. It's just ain't no room. It's coming.
Oh man, it's only pop.
Well, hey, I think if Microsoft is going to not have the deal with Call of Duty, it was their choice. I don't think it was like an Activision thing.
Yeah, I don't think it was. It was their
Microsoft
choice.
Look, they're the ones that have the numbers. Same thing with Titanfall. I guarantee that they had an option to pick up the second Titanfall, and it was probably a very costly option. And they probably looked at the numbers and said, okay, how many Xboxes did we sell before it? How many did we sell when it's launched? How many copies did we sell on Xbox One? You know what I'm saying? And you weigh that and see if it's worth doing another deal with. And so obviously it probably wasn't worth it to them. But
look at it this way, crap. Why did we get that anyway? The knock on the Xbox was they buy third-party content, they do this, that, and the third because they don't have any first-party games.
Yeah,
now that they sit here saying that they putting out first-party games, they don't need that anymore. These games is coming. I'm waiting to see what's coming. I was hoping they ain't trash. Yeah. But all in all, I think I have faith in what they're gonna put out. Hopefully it's exciting and it's new, fresh ideas, and I can't wait to see what it is. That's the excitement of E3. But at the end of the day, I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Sony's wasting their money on this stuff anyway. Like if they are getting this content, I'll tell you why. Because the PS4s are going to sell with or without it. People have proven time and time again that they're sheep. They'll buy the popular thing. They buy PS. Hell, I bought one. No reason why. I have no fucking clue. Lots of people buy them. You know what I'm saying? So people are gonna buy it, and they don't even have to have anything on there. You know what I mean? Just
hey, I'm gonna tell you, Raider, Godzilla, really?
No, that's the big holiday exclusive. That's the big holiday exclusive for Sony.
Come on, y'all. Y'all tripping with this stuff, man. Stop with the list, bro. Godzilla, really? Okay.
Yeah. A cross-platform game that looks like a PS2 game, to be honest with you.
Motorcycle Club. Hey, man, stop with this list, man. This list is trash.
Oh my god! Not only that, he lists games like as AAAs that obviously aren't or that already are.
They're not AAAs, yeah. A lot of these are
it's
not.
like Tearaway Unfolded. That's not a AAA. Persona 5. That's not AAA. Until Dawn.
Motorcycle
that's not AAA.
Club.
Tropico 5. That's not a AAA. Nor is it exclusive. What the hell?
Some of these are in.
What the hell is a
Some of these are
J-Star
indies.
Victory? What the? Come on, man. A disc Gaia? Man, I never even heard of that shit, man.
You know those. Well, listen. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect any PlayStation fans out there. Well, come on, you sitting there fucking PlayStation. Them motherfuckers are freaks. You see the shit they do late night on that Ustream, man. They into those type of games like you got a Japanese shitting on you. You know, they into shit like that, man. You know, them ponies are weirdos, man. You got that Tropico 5.
Yeah, I mean that is a pretty shit list. Cause what kind of person like has the balls to still put down the Order 1886 in there, right? Am I right?
After that debacle, my God,
man,
that game got fired.
Dude, that would be like me bringing up Scream Ride in list anymore. I mean, come on.
I get that game now for 2 and some change.
Hey, crap, you finally coming clean up on that Scream Ride?
Hey, I don't mind it, but I just I'm not gonna sit there and list it. I'm not gonna list it. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't list it either. They have never heard of. Well, they have crap. You listed that game.
Yeah, but
I have not. I don't even list that game when I talk about games. That's the best kept secret.
I don't think I've listed that shit.
I wouldn't even list Ori and the Blind Forest. I'm talking about AAA retail exclusive.
I'll tell you something. The thing about Ori that works in its favor is that I think they're going to take that character, and I think you may see him go up onto the platform level with nowhere near level of Master Chief, but it'll be Chief. You'll see.
Yeah, I hope they make it easier.
Will be like their level of character.
Hey, you know what? Keep it how it is, man, because that game is nice. You know, the only thing they did, man, I'm going to tell you what they did, man. They ain't fooled me. They took Mew from Pokemon and put him in a game.
Solid game.
They put Mew in a game. That's what they did.
Yo, he said, check him out. This nigga, next gen, at least he just put an A at the end and he didn't call me a nigga like fat gamer. Jesus Christ. Yeah. This nigga, next gen, keeps hyping up games he doesn't even buy. What game did I don't buy? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell game did I say I was going to buy and didn't buy? So you're listening live still. Please tell me a game that I hyped up that I said I didn't buy. What? Please. And go to my gamer tag right now. What did I say I was going to buy that I didn't hype up that I didn't buy? If anything, I cut back because I mean, come on. What I didn't buy? Mortal Kombat, Sunset Overdrive, what? Shit, I bought about 10 goddamn games last holiday season. Motherfucking Target had the motherfucking deal, buy 2, get 1 free. I was telling y'all about this. What game I just said I was going to buy, I didn't buy. So please tell me.
Yeah.
If you listen, sorry about that.
Move on.
Yeah, back to the podcast. So yeah, but they said again. But
hey, everybody, y'all got that from Next Gen for free.
Yeah, that was good. That was my house. That was my little rant to this nigga. What the hell did I hype up? Okay, listen, please call me out. Make sure you guys hear. What did I hype up that I didn't buy?
I don't know, man.
He pretty much bought everything.
But never hyped up involved. I didn't want involved. I guess I'm a little burnt down on first-person shooters. So what the hell did I hype up that, that's what I was going to buy? I don't know.
He's just talking shit. You didn't hype up nothing. I've seen every video you made for the past 4 years.
I'm a true Xbox fan. I bought the games I was supposed to buy. I bought all the Microsoft exclusives. I didn't buy Ori and the Blind Forest yet, but I didn't ever hype it up because they said it was really hard, but I didn't, and that's nothing. I can buy that now if I choose to, but it is what it is.
Hold on, man. This dude said, "Are you aware Godzilla have a big fan?"
Yeah, I just said, this dude named Dead 462.
I hope he's joking, man. I'm done.
Wait, I'm blocking theirs right now.
I replied to it. I said not here, and it's a cross-gen game on PS3. and it looks like a PS2 game. I mean, yeah,
Oh man, I'm done.
Wait, what is
I'm done.
like Godzilla.
Y'all
but-
crazy.
Yo, man, this is what we're working with right now. You're working with absolute lunacy, man. These people make no sense. No sense.
I'll tell you, man, that dust is strong.
Dead underscore 462. I said, "Are you aware?" Hey, my man, I'm gonna give you a break. Listen. I ain't gonna ban you this time. You see so much chili you get, see you
God, that's body.
Hey, I gotta tell you this, man. I feel I'm
in
embarrassed.
this podcast.
I'm embarrassed for him. I'm embarrassed for him, man, because fucking showstopper.
Wait, hold up. We got 175 people in here watching this live right now. God damn, thank you. Appreciate it, man.
It is. Hey, all right, now, so Call of Duty might not be the thing, but there's two big rumors going on for third-party advertising right now. One is Grand Theft Auto 5 Story DLC is going to come to the Xbox One first, and that's going to actually be announced at E3, which I think would be pretty big. If you're going to get some time content, why not make it Grand Theft Auto?
Okay.
And the second one would be Fallout 4 time content and some kind of deal going on there as well. So what do you guys think about those possibilities?
I'm not a big Grand Theft Auto fan, and I don't like Fallout at all.
I've never played Fallout.
I know
Yeah,
Fallout doesn't have a big fan base. It's just too slow for me. Like I didn't like Skyrim, none of that type stuff. I just didn't care. To me, it was very boring. If I'm on RPGs, I like Fable and Mass Effect. I like those. Like, what I mean, I'm not really big into those. So Fallout wasn't my thing. Like I bought the Oblivions and shit. I just didn't ever care for them. That's this generation. That's one thing I'm not doing. Just buy shit just to buy it. Make my money long like trains move. Ooh, ooh. I'm not gonna be doing that shit anymore. I'm only gonna buy things that I know I'm gonna like and know I'm gonna play. That's it. So, before I would just buy shit just to buy it. Maybe buying shit like Tropico 5. I ain't doing that shit this generation. You know what I mean? But
Hey, I can't wait to see the sales numbers on that trash.
no, man, come on, man.
You're not going to see any sales number on Godzilla. That's just here's the thing. No matter what they have, like, dude, ponies will still hype up Drive Club like it was the fucking best racing game ever.
You know what? Honestly, and we gotta be honest here. We all gave the order to shit, but it bombed out sales wise. You can buy the collector's edition for like $30 now. I've seen this shit on Amazon. Like, Jesus. And then I wonder how much Sony paid to make that game.
I would bet they paid a lot, and not only that, Ready at Dawn, even though they're not a first-party studio, I can imagine them probably having some kind of contract. They say it was supposed to be a trilogy, and the ending leaves it open for a sequel. Obviously, I have to wonder: one, will a sequel get made, and two, are we going to see layoffs at Ready at Dawn here soon? Remember how bad the launch was for Drive Club, and then they laid off pretty much almost half the staff, or more than half the staff at Evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, they're not developing games anymore. They're a quote-unquote service. So
that's fucked up.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, you fuck up, man. You got to do your job. Man, Mooch did a podcast the other day talking about that. You don't do your job right, and your job's a developer, and you put that shit out, you deserve to lose your job.
But you know what? I think at Sony, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I may get a couple of boos in the comment section. Like, to me, their level of, how should I say, their quality level to me took a dip when Ken got rid of him. That was the old gatekeeper when he left. That's why you get in games like The Order and stuff like in Drive Club. Like to the games they hype up, like games like Infamous Second Son. They hype that up like that's the second coming. That game is, it's okay, but it's not great. It's not. I'm being honest. It's okay.
It's quite boring. It's quite boring.
It gets very repetitive. You go get these little glass shards. You got to tear up the police barrack station, whatever the fuck they were. Tear down the station, get the glass shard, boost yourself up, go fight the balls.
Let me ask you a question. Here, if I said to you right now, let me borrow your PS4 and all your games, would you even ever call me back if I didn't come bring it back to you?
No, I don't have any games.
You're like, can I get that back?
I don't have any games. I'm being honest. Like, I got the PS4 just for their exclusives, and that's why you might catch buying a game like God of War the remastered. I don't have anything. I had the Last of Us. I never played it before, and of course, I had the Fire, so
I sold my digital copy.
So I don't have anything.
I sold my digital copy of Last of Us on eBay. I was like, I don't want that shit. 50 gigs. I ain't wasting my time.
Yeah, I don't have, I don't have anything. And those indie games that they give you every month, I'm not into that shit at all. Like, that's not my thing. If they would give us some third-party exclusives, not third-party exclusive, but they give us some multi-plats or something like that, like they do for the PlayStation 3, then I will be on my PlayStation more. I'm a consumer at the end of the day, but those little, they can keep that shit. I'm not into that.
I have 5, I think, like physical. I have Drive Club.
Oh, you got more than I do.
Yeah, I have Drive Club.
Hey, we got other topics we got to get to, man. And what's up with this DirectX 12? Lion.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry.
We've been dragging on this Call of Duty, man. Forget that trash. We got other stuff we got to talk about.
Well, okay. Like, if you didn't know, let's shoot Mr. in the rock. Who was that guy? Did the guy have a name from the article? Crap.
The guy who did that article on DirectX 12.
Oh, Extreme. What's Extreme? What's the name of the website? Extreme Tech or something? Well, he basically said that the DirectX 12 is going to do wonders for the Xbox One. For lack of better words. But you know what? I think at the end of the day, with Sony, I don't know what's so hard to accept. If my cell phone received the performance boost, if my tablet received the performance boost, why the fuck would my console?
His name's Ryan Dawes, and it's developertech.com.
Yeah. What's on the sites too? Stream Tech, developers on the
sites. And what's really interesting is the talk of what is that? He was talking about some kind of sync. What was it? Async shaders. Async shaders. Yeah. And it's like something that the Xbox One can't do without DirectX 12, right? Because the previous versions doesn't have it or support this, and this is going to be pretty huge. And he's also talks up about how The Witcher 3 is going to get a post DirectX 12 patch.
Batman.
And Batman.
And that MSI, if you don't know, that's a company that makes graphics cards. They you have AMD and you have NVIDIA, but MSI also makes their cards, and you can buy their version of their cards. And they let that come out that that those games can be patched with DirectX 12. And I just think, in the day, we all know now this common sense. Like I would say, it was like with me, it was no brainer. Here it is, they put out a console in November, and then 4 months later they're talking about a new API, DirectX 12. And you guys remember the shit I got for talking about it, And Zaire's not even a computer gamer, and what the fuck does that have to do with it? We talk about Microsoft own hardware. Like, why wouldn't what I mean? Like, that, to me, that just baffled me before they even let anything loose. And I let them, what if, and we just talked about it. I think it was in the podcast. What if, and this we're able to bring in, and people on YouTube lost their mind. You had motherfuckers like Rich, you Xbox fanboys, DirectX 12 is not coming to do shit for the Xbox One. Like, oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with you? But I think Phil Spencer played it right. He played his cards close to his chest. Now, developers are opening up about it, and it is what it is. What do you guys think about it?
I mean, I think that the X12 thing, I watched your video, Z, and we already know, we don't need to go through this again. We know first party's going to rock it and they're going to do it right. But in order for DX12 to really be a statement piece for the Xbox, those patches got to come out this year to show Witcher 3, Batman, and future games coming up, even Call of Duty, whatever. They need to use, those developers need to use DX12 and show that they can patch through that. At least gets us past resolution gate, gets us up, up to at least where we're supposed to be, and then a little beyond. And until that happens, DX12 is just something that we're going to enjoy, and the Sony fans don't give a shit. They're like, oh, yeah, well, we don't like your... They're already claiming they don't like our games anyway. So for DX12 to be a real, statement piece, you got to see third party use it.
I don't see why developers, if it saves the money, they were able to port Elite Dangerous from the PC to the Xbox One in one day. You understand that? If it saves the money, and all these developers want to have the prettiest game on the show floor. Hey, they're already, bidding for $1. And Brad Wardell put it perfectly in the article. He said that for companies like, you know, AMD and NVIDIA to come out, you know, and fully back it, they're basically saying that, hey, that multi-core GPU, whatever CPU that I sold you, you know what I mean, it's for nothing. You're paying for tech you couldn't even use. Now with DirectX 12, you'll be able to use all those cores in your GPU and CPU, you know what I mean? So that's why there's been a lot of hush-hush like, damn, I got this dual-core CPU, this, that, and the other, yeah, I'm clocking this. You ain't really doing shit, you know what I mean? You know, all these powerful gaming rigs, you know what I mean? And, like, you know, you're paying for stuff that you tech that you can't even use, really, you know what I mean?
Right.
So basically that's what he, you know, what he was saying in the article. I thought that was like, damn, you know, I didn't think about it like that, but, you know, I can't, I guess at the end of the day, nothing that I can't wait. Just going by games like, you know, Fable Legends, like I said, Jesus Christ. I told before I knew anything about, you know, that using Unreal Engine 4, whatever the case may be, I said, geez, this is a beautiful game. I'm like, God, I'm looking at the water and the girl that got the ice. I'm like, God damn, look at these shots. Like, what the fuck? Like, whoa. Like, whoa. Like, Bruce Lee, that motherfucker. I said, damn, this is beautiful. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think we're in for a treat. And what makes games have great graphics or not is not the resolution, it's the shaders. And like what Crab said, the 80, I mean, like, that's what texture, that's what gives you better graphics. You know, not the resolution of the game, you know what I mean?
You know, what I look at with this whole DirectX 12 thing with a lot of Sony fans, they look at hardware and specs. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Sony is good at putting, you know, hardware stuff together and doing all that little trash. But at the end of the day, they got to look at Microsoft's strengths. If Microsoft would not, they got more forward thinking than a lot of people give them credit for. They think that Microsoft is going to make a system, have it sit there and not take advantage of what they got coming in the future. I have not known Microsoft to do anything like that when they knew a lot of this stuff was coming ahead of time. So when they was building the design of the Xbox One, they had all this stuff in mind already. So they built it to where it could take advantage of what they had coming. So DirectX 12 will make a difference at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So because they had already had it in mind. You know, so I don't know where they thinking that until they actually see it in motion. They're going to continually deny it. So until Fable Legend come out, until these games come out running with it, and it's a stable frame rate, and it's no titter, you know, fluctuating and none of that trash. You know what I'm saying? We starting to get these games, even if it's just exclusives for our first party games, and they are stable frame rates. Then it'd be then it would change their minds. I don't think it has to come
Sony
to the third
fanboys
party.
shouldn't worry about it anyway. To be honest with you, they shouldn't. Why are they worried about? Man, when you're a fucking dinosaur, do you worry about when you got a fucking flea on you? Why are they so worried about it? The PS4 is gangbusters. Worry about that. Play your games. You know what I'm saying? Let the Xbox fans. Well, hey, they're playing their same thing that what we said when we had 360. We were playing the multiplats. You know. I mean, there's obviously something they like in that. There got to be something, right? I mean, people buy the damn thing for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it be multiplats or indies or a mix of everything, or I don't know personally. I don't know, but I'm just saying they shouldn't even worry about DirectX 12. It's not like even if it does great things and say it solves all the problems and makes Xbox One brilliant. They shouldn't worry about it because people aren't going to all of a sudden after 2 years of hating Xbox go, oh shit, we better get on that. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. You know, they're going to still. Why worry about it? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Let Xbox fans enjoy something without the PS4 fans shitting on it. You know, that's what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah, basically.
You know,
Man, listen, man. You know what? They gotta, how you say? They gotta make I guess their purchase feel superior or something. We do this shit. Don't get me wrong, we all entertain quote unquote this clown support for shits and giggles. But some of these motherfuckers really take this shit to heart.
Oh,
they do. They think we are constantly doing this. They think that it's like.
Hey, I be looking at Cat's videos, man. I be sitting here like, man, he in that special place.
Yeah, but they take this shit to heart. I'm like, yo. I'm like, look at my man. Motherfucker, don't you know Godzilla got a big fan base? Huh?
Hey, I want to ask you.
He went in that little special place, bro.
Real quick, what do you guys think of video game leaks in general? I mean, I know there's some like a supposed big one, like with the gear situation, but just in general, here's my take on it, right? I don't like leaks. I don't like fake leaks. They're both equally as bad, and here's why. They both get, now with this Gears thing, right? So this leaks 2 months before E3. I happen to think that this might have been at E3. Hey, we went ahead and slapped together a Gears anniversary for free today. That would have been huge at E3, right? Huge.
Free?
Yeah, that was my thought, right?
Oh,
Free, just since it's just Gears 1, why not? Just here's free today. Download it right now. That wins you E3. I guarantee it. That wins you
Absolutely.
E3.
And you know what?
If you say that.
Why not do something like that? Because think about
But-
it. That is yeah, but like literally, that would cost Microsoft almost nothing.
Yeah, it wouldn't cost them nothing, right? And then not only that, but it's only one. So now nobody knows. It's all up in the air. You have people tweeting Phil and everybody 24/7. Man, you guys should just bring it out, come out and announce it. We all know. Just come out and announce it. We know. Well, man, let them announce it when they want. If they want to. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what their plans are, if this is a legitimate thing or not. I just think that it's kind of crazy to kind of like, oh, well, since some of this stuff supposedly leaked, let's find out. Listen, now we've got 2 months for people to bitch that it's not a collection, right?
Mhm.
So if it is free or was free, then those people kind of look like idiots, right? Because how can you be pissed off about something free? And to me, this might not be anything more than ODST to them, which Master Chief Collection owners get for free as well. So that was to my thinking. But in general, even fake lists, like fake E3 lists, they're bad too because we get excited for them or think we're going to get them, and then we get disappointed.
You
Right?
get pointed, yeah.
There's
Yeah, I try
nothing.
to sell it.
Leaks do nothing but disappoint, whether they're real or fake. They lead to nothing but disappointment for everybody. Like they don't help anybody. They kind of tick me off more than anything. You know what I mean? I would rather be surprised. We were surprised by nothing last year from anybody because everything was leaked, and that sucks. That's like a kid at Christmas, and your brother spoils everything you're gonna get by finding the presents early. You know what I mean? That sucks.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, again, I just the Gears thing. I mean, it's happening. I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, people that came out, them playing it, and it just blacked out. And like I said, it's a good time to be an Xbox One owner, especially this. I don't know when the game is coming out. I think probably this holiday season. But like I said, we get a Gears and a Halo. That's never been done before. That's like I said, going to be.
Well, you get all four if that's the case. You get all four of their big franchises in 1 year. You get Gears, Halo, Fable, and Forza. That's their big four tentpole franchises.
Can you imagine that commercial?
Yeah.
Could you imagine
What's
that
that?
commercial? Like Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be good. I mean, I don't think that would be like for like Sony fans, right? That would be like you guys getting Gran Turismo, God of War, Uncharted, and I don't know what the hell their big fourth one would be. I'm not exactly sure what the hell it's you. No, because Little Big Planet is not a big seller.
Yeah.
The Last of Us. Let's just say they had those four, coming out in 1 year. Or if you're Nintendo, you had a Mario, a Zelda, a Smash, and a Mario Kart come out in the same year. Yeah, or Metroid. Yeah, there you go. So that's your four biggest franchises in the same year. That'd be just the same. It's huge. There's no way to downplay that. If that's the case, like I'm not saying I know one way or the other. I'm just saying if that's the case, then you're going to have all four of their big franchises out in the same year. That's awesome.
Man.
Who wouldn't want that, right? I mean,
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Well, I'm sorry. I just seen a snake throw up a rat. I don't know what God. Jesus Christ. Ew. All right. Damn, I hate snakes. That is huge for us. And like I said, maybe just to touch back on the duty thing, maybe that's why Microsoft. Hey, we got a lot on our plate. I am really now. If this Call of Duty thing is true, what is Microsoft going to show at E3? You understand what I'm saying? That's like that's they say they got some surprises for ads. You know how I feel about the NFL thing. Like I can't wait to get that, but I think that's huge. They kind of got slipped out or something, but but like that's going to be huge, man. But,
as long as it's NFL related, it'll be huge.
It'll be huge, yeah. If it's just a football, I don't know how big that's going to be, man.
oh, but I mean, here's the thing. Again, even if it's we have at least something else. And maybe they can leave it open where you can download, you got those, you can download the rosters or whatever the case may be, but if they're partnered with Microsoft, it's going to be, it's a no-brainer because if you think about it, it's illegal for EA to have a monopoly on anything. Like I said, I remember Bell Atlantic was really big in Jersey, and they got, they had to go to court, and then you had so many companies after that, MCI, Sprint, and all that stuff. We only had one that's called a monopoly, and the way the loophole is, just like with with 2K with the baseball, that they had the license to make multi-platform baseball games on all the consoles, and Sony was still able to produce their own baseball. But the thing is, the MLB license wasn't as expensive as the NFL license.
Yeah.
Baseball, that's a long. I'm not into baseball, but God, that's a long game there. 9 innings.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, those games take like an hour and a half, 2 hours to play, man.
Yeah, I was like, ain't nobody gonna sit through all that trash.
You got 162 games to play. I mean, sometimes you can play like the shorter season, but it's still like I think like 60 games or 40 games or something. It's like and the playoffs. It's like it's incredibly like tedious and stuff, and like I don't know, like for me, I wouldn't mind one on Xbox, but it's not something that I think would be a huge seller. I think that's why.
Nah, everybody gonna buy no baseball on the Xbox, bro.
Well, ain't nobody. He's a cool guy. There ain't nobody gonna buy that on no Xbox.
I might be the biggest baseball player fan in this room.
I talk like that, like ain't nobody buying that trash, man.
That takes forever to play. Takes forever.
It does take forever. But we got anything else we want to talk about today? Did we cover everything?
Oh, okay. Well, the ODST campaign is coming out next month, and for free if you bought the Master Chief Collection before December 19th.
How do you know if you bought it before December 19th?
Because you would have put it in your Xbox.
Yeah, day one.
Okay. So it's going to show free on certain people consoles then.
Yeah, because remember we all got that free month, Z. We got the free month on Xbox Live. Yeah.
My shit just paid up until when Best Buy had a deal, I fucking bought those cards and just put them all in. They were like $30, like 3-4 cards, and then I bought another card, the black one. When the Xbox One came out, I get the black. What's my man name? Django? It's not Django. Goddamn. What's the motherfucking name from Killer Instinct?
Django.
Django?
Django, yeah, there you go. I call that Django.
He said Django.
I call that motherfucker Django. God damn. Yeah, then I bought another card, so I got like 5 years worth of Xbox Live, man. So, that's
a lot of Xbox Live, dude.
Yeah, I got mad years, so I'm straight.
Hey, you guys can start asking some questions in the comment section if you want. We can answer some.
We can go to a couple questions. I gotta go back to the page here, refresh it. Motherfucker said, "You know how big that? You know how big?" He said, "Godzilla got a huge fan base." All right, what we got here? We're gonna skip that Godzilla question, though.
Oh, here's one. Wait, this is the fucking misconception that I'm talking about. Someone named Angela Alvarez says, "Why can't the Xbox One just upscale games like the 360 did? I wouldn't mind as long as it's 1080p." Guess what? The Xbox One has a brilliant upscaler called the HANA 2 chip, and it does upscale everything to 1080p. So no matter what, you're getting a really good picture at 1080p output. So yeah, myth busted.
Wow. Damn, again, I'm sorry.
She must be new to the show.
She probably heard that GameStop some damn way.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, like sweetheart, no one has a 900p TV. You know what I mean? Even the PS4, all of these consoles, even the Wii U upscales to 1080.
Oh my God, there's another list person in here, and they got Drawn to Death and something called Killing Floor and Hellblade and Ratchet.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Hellblade. Hellblade gonna be a slick game, but it's coming to the Xbox too.
What game is that?
Hellblade.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah, it's kind of Hellblade's done an exclusive, but I like that developer. They did one of my favorite games too, Heavenly Sword. But Killing Floor is not exclusive either. There's people playing it right now on PC. I said retail game. Name was retail games.
Yeah, I can tell you right now.
Downloadable title. Give me some retail game exclusive. I have a printout here from GameStop. The only thing on that list is Until Dawn. You get God of War remastered, J-Star or J something, J Victory, some kind of SingStar game. It's like, come on. And compared to the Xbox
Oh
One,
man, they gonna have their cell phones with the SingStar, bro. Get
yeah,
ready.
uh-huh.
Get them
Hey,
golden pipes together.
there's a rumor that that Until Dawn game is going to get delayed again as well until next year.
Yeah, it's definitely
Oh
delayed.
shit! Well, there goes that. We got one here from James Campbell. What do you think we'll see first? A game built using DX12 or a third-party game getting a DX12 patch? Well, Fable comes out probably this summer, and then it uses Unreal Engine 4, which patched in. It's not built from the. Well, how was that? I mean, well, Fable is going to be the first game that we're going to see on the Xbox One using DX12. You know, for sure. You know,
I
so
think so, yeah.
it is. I think if Fable comes out in the summer, so you know.
That's when I think ain't that's when DirectX 12 and Windows 10 and all that's gonna be launched.
Supposedly the end of July that leaked it is launching
Yeah.
at the end of July. So Fable Legends is supposed to be a launch game with Windows 10.
Windows
Mhm.
10, yeah.
Yeah, so I would assume by the end of July that we'll see that, and that's a DirectX 12 game on Xbox One, built from the ground up.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Mr. P flows. I'm a bit excited about Gears, but only if it's Gears 4. I really can't see myself be playing a Gears I already own, unless just for the achievements. What do you guys feel about that?
I'd still like to see some kind of confirmation that there's some kind of Gears in the works. I mean, people talk all the time, man. Until I see it with my own eyes, I can't believe it.
But I think the people in Spain put a big dumbass put a video up on YouTube. They got
Wait, did he get banned?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I mean, that's, yeah, I don't know. When we hear something, I'm excited to hear at E3 what's going on. If no matter what it is, if it's Gears related, I'll be in.
Mm.
Mhm.
Doctor, what's it? DRE Wayne 1. He said the Halo Master Chief Collection is still broken. Who should lose their job over that?
Whoever was in charge of putting that together.
He said MLCC is canceled because of joinability issues. I didn't know Halo was still having issues.
It doesn't have issues online when I try to play it. I don't know what the deal is with that. Like, I've never even heard of that particular thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really my thing.
We know we didn't talk about, but here's a good question from the Hard Den 6. What do you guys think about the new Xbox One controller and what improvements we're going to see at E3?
Is that a rumor or is that a fact?
I think that's got some strong legs. Yeah, that's coming.
Just say that it's fact.
I hope it's got more grip on it. I hope it's got just a little bit more.
You know what I would like to see? If they would do a D-pad like the PS4s for fighters. I'm fine with the controller I have now. But sometimes it's a little hard pulling off the down over. That's all basically. And they break the D-pad up. I don't know if Sony has a patent on that or something. I don't know, but I'm fine with the Xbox One controller. It is now. I say, but then no need to reinvent the wheel. I was a little, not to say difficult, but I felt a little funny at first because I was so used to the 360 controller. But now I'm fine with, it's like second nature. So I don't know. It must be something special because they spent over $100 million on designing this motherfucker.
Oh, hey, wait. Yeah, there's something else I want to talk about. They confirmed that there's going to be a Halo 5 limited edition console today.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Warriors showed me that.
Yeah, so that's pretty sick too, man. Like, I'm hoping like 1 terabyte. You know what? They should do an ultimate Halo bundle. Do a 1 terabyte Halo themed console with Halo Master Chief Collection and Halo 5. You know what I mean? I think that would be really good.
Why not make it 2 terabytes? Fuck it.
Because that would be really expensive.
No, hard drive, cheap as hell. I just bought a 2 terabyte hard drive for $65.
But not for those internal ones. Look, they did the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare one last year without Connect, and it was still $500 because it was 1 terabyte instead of 500 gigs.
Crap, trust me, these companies are not paying a lot of money for these hard drives.
Dude, I know. I'm just telling you.
Old tech there, baby.
I understand that, but look, they're not going to give you a 2 terabyte and then keep the cost below like $400. They're not going to do it. Especially with, like you said, you can get an external pretty cheap. That's probably their thinking. So keep it at 500 gigs.
To take out what I'm saying is they're not paying a lot. If what I'm saying is this, to buy now, if it was an SSD drive, crap. Obviously, that's kind of costly. But when you buy a rig, a computer, that's internal, 1 terabyte, it's like $30-$40. I know and they're buying it in bulk. I know they ain't paying that much for it. Like, hard drives are cheap. maybe it's
Well,
what
that's
they
true.
do. They do
They're-
to keep the price up for the consumer, but that's cheap. Microsoft made a killing last generation on, those memory cards and 4 gig. That was cheap, man. Really, really cheap.
Yeah, I still think they need to do these bundles with $349 price tag, so I don't see them doing a 2 terabyte. They got to keep the price cheap. When you're losing and you want to compete, you got to be cheaper, and
So
that's going to be cheaper.
crap, you must be thinking it's the hard drive that make the console expensive then.
Well, hey, check this out. Like I said, then why was the Advanced Warfare bundle $500 with no
It wasn't
no
just the hard
Connect?
drive, bro. Trust me.
Well, that was the 1 terabyte.
Hey, crap, I just bought a goddamn computer with an internal 1 terabyte hard drive. It was
Well,
like
I'm just saying.
$40.
Well, then maybe the ones they're using or whatever, maybe it raises their cost.
And
But
that was just for me. I'm a consumer, and Microsoft is buying that shit in bulk by the millions.
but they charge you $500 for no Connect and 1 terabyte as opposed to $349.
Design, of course. I mean, like I said, they're gonna make their money for it, crap. But I'm just saying that it's not the hard drive that's what's making it expensive. Trust me, people pay for that decal, if anything, and the fact that they make little, Call of Duty noises. Ding, ding, ding.
But you think they're gonna do
I just said what it is.
terabyte?
I mean? I'm just saying, but I would think that would be huge, especially now you got to install all your games before you buy them.
Yeah, I would settle for a 500 to 1 terabyte if they can keep the price down to push units because they need it. That should be their number one priority, keeping costs down.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. Hey, crap, I agree with you 100%, but I'm just telling you that it's not the hard drive that's making it expensive. Hard drives are cheap. You must have bought a hard drive in a very long time, brother.
No, I have 2 externals. I have one for my Xbox 360 and my Xbox One.
When you buy, when you figure that hard drives are cheap. But we go on to the next question. Shout out to Michael, my man Michael Smith. I gave him my free Dance Revolution. Came with it. My Xbox just bought for front room. Big up next gen. Thanks for the game. The wife loves. No problem. God bless. I gave him the code for it. Lace Chucks. Hey Mooch, your comment about Godzilla destroying the city of Horizon had me cracking up on Twitter. On Twitter, Mooch.
But yeah, man, I was just that was earlier today, man, when there was just a shitstorm going on about who's got what coming, and it was a bunch of Call of Duty. The ponies were wrestling the stable up, and I just threw a bash out there. I guess I did crap. What did I put out there? Something like I enjoyed Godzilla because it smashed a bunch of Japanese cities.
Yeah, I'm sure that's screen cap somewhere. And
hey, listen, man. Listen, here's what I'm saying. Shout out to everybody who's listening to. We got a huge audience tonight. Reason I've been a little quiet is I've been moving. I was outside. My voice is real raspy. But in all honesty, this Christmas, if you're an Xbox fan, buy your family member an Xbox. Get these people on there, man. Get these people off PlayStation.
give them a good console with some exclusives, right?
Give them something with some games on it. Be like, you can thank me next year. I don't give a shit.
All right. We got I got another good question here. Unless you see something else. Hey, next gen, do you think Microsoft will release a Halo Reach and Halo Wars on the Xbox One? I'm gonna be honest. I would rather have Halo Reach than Halo ODST. I didn't like that ODST shit at all. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna get any more remakes of Halo. What do you guys think?
I think they're gonna do Reach.
You think they're gonna do Reach?
Might as well. I think it's very popular.
I thought Reach was a pretty good game.
Yeah, I would rather have Reach than ODST. Like I made down it. That's like I didn't care for that.
I beat ODST, and I'll tell you right now, except for the mechanics, it's the farthest thing that I felt like was Halo.
I didn't like the fact that I couldn't jump high and punch hard. I didn't like that. Like I'm just used to being Master Chief. Wait. Mr. High Plane, he put next gen. You hyped up Titanfall as the best shooter of this generation, but yet you stated you wouldn't be buying Titanfall 2 since it would be a multiplayer. I don't think I ever hyped up Titanfall as being the best shooter of this generation. Well, this generation just started, but it is probably the best that was out, better than Killzone. And the reason why I said I wouldn't buy Titanfall 2 is the same reason I didn't buy Evolve. I'm just burnt out on shooters.
What the fuck is this Deku kid smoking? Jesus.
What do you say?
Man, I shouldn't even be talking about that fucking chicken wing asshole in this podcast, but
Chicken Wing George.
yeah. But Jesus Christ, this dude must be smoking some kind of crack.
What'd he say?
He says, "Why are we jealous of that chicken wing motherfucker that Phil made him?" That Phil made him.
He said, "Why we tells of who?"
This nigga had a video, man, with a 6XL. It was a dress. Chicken wing George, man.
You talking about the human squeegee? That dusty motherfucker.
Yeah, he says why? He says why are we jealous of him since Phil made him the voice of Xbox? You know that asshole's the voice of Xbox, like I'm the voice of PlayStation. You know, just because you own something, don't make you the voice of something.
They said he got fired from his part-time job. He had a part-time job watching them old folks in the senior citizen, giving them baths and shit. What that he couldn't do with that little ass arm. And the arm shaped like an elbow macaroni, man.
Next thing you do, you have like the fucking watchdogs down on this dude.
That's why he
hey man, the big gamer small talk, man. They hating on chicken wing people, man.
Do you guys see any other comments, questions?
Hold on. Let's see. Avery says.
Wait. I got another line here. He said, "Wait, this nigga, you hyped up screenwriter, nigga. When the fuck did I hype up screen? You got me confused with crap."
You got him.
Crap about that game. Demo, that was like, ew. You got me confused with crap, buddy. Sorry. Solid game. That wasn't me.
Yeah, that was. I don't know if I hyped it up. I just said I was looking forward to it. Hey, here's one. It says, "Showstopper. How do you think Microsoft is going to compete at E3 with Sony with Call of Duty, Battlefront, and probably Metal Gear at their conference?" Those are all three games that are going to be available on Xbox, though. So.
You still mentioning multiplat.
Yeah.
Fuck in their head. Y'all are mentioning multiplats.
Yeah, like I said,
that means it's coming to both consoles.
Here's the cool thing: if you're an Xbox gamer, right? Even if you're an Xbox One gamer, watch Microsoft conference, see all the exclusives you're gonna get. Then watch Sony's conference and see all the multiplats you're gonna get. Double the conferences.
And I told them all they gonna get is a bunch of multiplats, a bunch of multiplats, a bunch of indies with a little sprinkle.
Yeah, you forgot to.
On AAA. That's all y'all gonna see, man.
Now what about?
There it is.
What about Power Season 2?
Oh yeah, Powers.
You know about Power Season 2?
Here's a question for Jamie for show says, do you think Xbox will have VR announcement this year?
No.
There's not going to be. Phil Spencer said VR isn't a quote-unquote now thing. I think that he's taking a kind of wait-and-see approach, and that's going to maybe pay off for them because Sony is supposed to have a good chunk of their E3 dedicated to that Morpheus crap. So I think the majority of gamers, that could be their Kinect fuck-up, in my opinion. If Sony's going to fuck up, it might be with some kind of gimmick like that. Like, remember how Microsoft used to focus on that Kinect shit for, like, even though I'm a fan of Kinect and I like the first one, right? But I'm like, don't focus on that shit at E3. You know, if Sony focuses too much on gimmicky shit at E3, it's going to end up messing with them, you know, and I think that could be their mistake.
You know what?
You know?
I would buy a Morpheus, what do you call it, if it supported porn. If not, I wouldn't need mine. Seriously, if not, I don't know. I'm not even really interested in, and I will say, you guys, I'm a fan and I love gadgets. What's the other one that PC makes?
Oculus Rift.
Or Project, what is it?
Oculus Rift.
There you go. I'm not even, and I don't know. I'm just not feeling it, and but it is.
Well, hey, you know what? The Oculus developer said, hey, this thing might be more at home for movies and stuff like that than gaming. So I think they're already kind of.
I'll be all about it.
Yeah, they're already kind of backing out on that. You know, they're already kind of like backing down on their original for gaming and stuff. I don't know. Like, seems to me like Sony, they jump the gun a lot of times when it comes to some of this tech and stuff, like they did with 3D, right? And we all know why 3D got popular was because of that movie Avatar. Sony was quick. Hey, let's get these 3D TVs out. Let's start putting all of our games in 3D. Let's say 3D a million times at E3. So much so that I was playing a drinking game. Every time they fucking said 3D, I was taking a shot. Right, you were fucking plastered like a half hour in because.
You know what? You might not even notice, you guys, but that 3D marketing push that Sony went on, that's what fucked up Spider-Man because the director didn't want to do the old director and the old.
Yeah, they were gonna. Yeah, Sam Raimi was gonna do Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire stuff, and I actually liked that franchise.
Because
Then you know what I'm saying? I
Sony
like
wanted
those
him to
ones.
do the Spider-Man in 3D, and he didn't want to, or whatever the case may be. So Sony fired the director, and Tobey Maguire said, "The director leaving, I'm leaving." That's when you guys got that whole, when we all got that whole reboot of Spider-Man, and it was just like shit. Like I said, that was $1 billion franchise. Like Jesus, those first 3 Spider-Man were great movies, and they were blockbusters. And they was trying to do the whole 3D thing, and it didn't pay. I do like 3D movies though. I think they're nice, but it didn't pay off for
Hmm.
them.
Yeah.
But
Hey, here's a question from Yapashu. It says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how racist is Mooch, with 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest?
Well, let's see.
well, especially if you're hanging out with 2 niggers, I don't think it's racist at all, man.
Thank you. Listen, man. I grew up in the city. I know what it's all about. Listen, if you want to call it racist, it's not racist. I'm just hating on a country that hates us. That's all I'm hating on. They don't like us. You can't tell me 100 Xbox Ones were sold last month and there ain't something against American people in Japan. I don't give a shit what anybody says. And it's fake smiles and fake handshakes. It's all fake, man. You see them when they're on screen or on stage at E3? They're looking down. They're looking
Someone kill Mike Mooch's mic. Oh, shit, about to go left.
Hey, look, man. It is what it is. Look it. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. They don't buy anything that we sell. You don't see Chevys on the street. They don't buy Fords. Someone's saying they buy Apple, but they buy them on the black market. They don't buy them straight up. It's grimy, man.
Hey, you know what?
It's grimy.
We do need another boxing game. Shout out to Allen. You know what I'm saying? We do need another boxing game.
It's supposed to alternate. UFC 1 year, boxing the next. Believe it or not, there's a big misconception. Well, I guess UFC does better numbers, which it can't be. Well, we got the richest fight of all time, which is Mayweather versus Pacquiao, over $400 million fight.
Pacquiao about to get that work.
Yeah, but they supposed to alternate. That same team that did the UFC is the Fight Night team, so they supposed to alternate. Who used to be the head of that, but now it's at Microsoft. What's his name? Kudo something.
Kudo Tsunoda.
Yeah, he was the lead developer for Fight Night when what's my man named Peter Moore left Microsoft, went to EA. Kudo Moore left EA and came to Microsoft, and they put him the head of the. What's his job title now?
He is running all the studios except for except for 343, Turn 10, Black Tusk, and Mojang. So he's basically taken over for Phil Harrison, who is now who left. But you know what he did? He started his own company using the HoloLens and unannounced Microsoft tech. So now he's running his own spin-off Microsoft tech company or whatever it is.
Okay. Well, I hope it works out for him.
Oh, here's a decent question. It says there's an article with Remedy and Polygon discussing the possible Alan Wake 2, made with part of Remedy's studio along with the external studio helping. Would you guys be interested in an Alan Wake sequel possibly in 2016, 2017?
Hell yeah.
Here's the thing though. You're kind of a little flawed there, right? Quantum Break isn't even coming out till 2016. So if you think they're going to be an Alan Wake in 2016, 2017, even with outside's help, that's just crazy talk. Remedy are notoriously slow at building games.
Yeah,
that's why when people were flipping out over the whole, is it going to be on a PS4 possibly? I was like, hey, worry about that
Didn't Alan Wake take 5 years or something like that? Something crazy. Yeah, it was something crazy.
So far, Quantum Break has taken almost that long. So you would be looking at 2020, 2019 at the earliest before an Alan Wake 2, even with outside help. But yeah, I mean, I would welcome it, but I don't even think we're going to get an Alan Wake. If we're going to get Alan Wake, it's going to be the remastered as the bonus or whatever for pre-ordering.
For free.
Quantum Break.
I'd be up for that.
Yeah, that's what the question was, right? Free pre-order bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to sell your new IP, right? So that's what you do. Like to me, it would have made sense to release Quantum Break with a Halo 5 beta, you know what I mean, or something like that, or Gears 5 beta, right? I mean, doesn't that make the most, or Gears 4 beta? I'm sorry. Yeah. Wouldn't that make the most sense? Like you have your biggest IPs, right? Like what the hell was that damn game that Epic Games had? You Kill with Skill, but they had the Gears 3 beta in there. Yeah, Bulletstorm or whatever hell it was.
Bulletstorm, yeah.
Yeah, like that. I mean, if it wasn't for that, that game wouldn't have sold anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a real good game, but it really needed multiplayer.
Yeah, bullet was shit. That was, I don't know, had a little whip or some shit.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is. Somebody put a hard drive up here on Seagate and turned it $48. All right. But anyway, thank you guys for watching us live. We appreciate it. We catch you guys out next week. Well, next week's the big fight. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's on Saturday. I ain't got nothing to do with
Well, you don't say not the big fight, but we can talk about that. How Floyd gonna whoop that boy's ass. That rice eater's ass.
Floyd gonna whoop that boy.
I want to say for the record though, all ethnic people eat rice. So that wasn't technically racist. You know, we all eat fucking rice. I'm eating rice right now.
Hell yeah, that's some good shit, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But we all don't have a chicken wing arm. It takes a black man to have a chicken wing arm.
That's true.
That was man free here pony with a chicken wing arm. God damn. We'll see you guys next week. Shout out to the 180 people watching us live. Y'all guys all rock. And I'm probably going to live stream a little while, so come up to the live stream where I rock. Next Gen 480i.
Rack them up.
Bitches.